everybody, just John here today. Lynn's not part of the equation when we get into the mechanical side of things. Next week we will get back into the second part of our series on our first time doing the boondocking at a harvest host. But we're back from that right now, haven't put that video together, and today we are just going to be changing the oil for the first time on the ambulance. So this video is a little out of the ordinary for what I normally do. So normally it's about traveling, and especially about traveling around in our ambulance camper. But I also just wanted to be able to show people that it's not an overwhelming thing to be able to take care of these things, to be able to do the maintenance. And so I just want to show you how to go about changing the oil on this ambulance. This is a Chevy 3500 Silverado pickup that the ambulance is based on. It's going to be the same for your pickup truck, but I just want to show you how to go about doing this because it's not a hard thing to do. So the first thing we need to do is get this vehicle up onto the ramps. This is a Chevy 3500 pickup is what this ambulance is based on, and it weighs probably about 11,000 pounds. So we do need to make sure that those ramps can handle that kind of weight. I have made sure that we can, but let's go ahead and get it up on there. My chocks right back here. Jam those into place there. Get one more on this side. Definitely do not want this vehicle rolling while I'm changing the oil. This is my first time changing the oil on this vehicle since we purchased it, and it's about time, so you get to learn this one with me. I have not changed the oil on this vehicle before. All right, so the tools you're going to need for this job are a ratchet with, in this case, a 13 millimeter socket so that I can get the plug off of the oil pan. And then you're going to need an oil filter wrench. I can't find mine right now, so I'm really hoping I can get the filter off with my hands. If not, I'm running to the store to get that. And then you're going to need a basin that can hold, in my case, at least 2.5 gallons of oil, because diesel engines do have very large oil capacity, generally speaking, and 2.5 gallons is a lot of oil. Now, the one thing I'm surprised about was how little it's going to cost me to actually change the oil on this. The diesel oil was not that expensive. The filter was only 25 bucks. So this is actually going to be less to change the oil for me cost-wise than it is for my SUV. So that's pretty cool at least. All right, so hopefully you can see the oil plug right there underneath the vehicle. If you can't, I'll re-film this, but this has to come out. That's what our 13 millimeter wrench is for. I have my basin set up here. I do not know what the capacity of this is, so if it ends up being under 2.5 gallons, I have a backup bucket here just in case it doesn't end up pouring out on the ground. So let's get to it. I have loosened this a little bit already so that I can do this one-handed. So here we go. Loosening that up. Just going to do it by hand now, and when it comes, it's coming. And there she blows. So we'll let that drain for a while till it's done. It's going to take a little while here, and hopefully it will not overflow the pan while it's doing it. Not sure when this oil was changed last. It was still belonging to the fire department, and I figure it's about time. We've driven a few thousand miles on it. A little messy. Okay, so it's just about done. So I'm going to get this plug and feel my way back in there. In the meantime, getting my hand completely covered in oil, but that's okay. That's just what happens. Okay, so we got that back in. I'll go wipe my hand off and then tighten it. Okay, so we got the plug back in. I'm going to go ahead and just tighten it up with the wrench here. And the next thing we got to do, now that that's back in, is we have to get the filter out. The oil filter is right up here. Do not want to confuse it with what I believe on this vehicle is a transmission filter, which is right here. So you do not want to take that out, for sure. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this out by hand, and if I can't, then I'm going to the store to get an oil filter wrench, which I have one somewhere, and I could not find it. So wish me luck. Well, I tried taking it out by hand. not going to come, so I guess I'm going to be going to the store to get a filter wrench, which probably needed anyway. All right, here's what we need here. Looks like should be that one right there. $10. All right, got my new wrench right here. Gonna go head back underneath, and when you take the oil filter off, make sure that the pan is underneath that as well, because it's going to drain its contents as well if it's sideways like it is in this case. I will tell you what, that was a severely over-tightened filter. But yeah, it moves now. Not a problem. I can get this off of my hand now. That was ridiculous. All right, and there's some more oil coming out. We'll let that drain for a minute. And then once it's done draining, I'll pull it the rest of the way out. Now the new filter goes on the same way the old one came off. You just want to make sure you spread a little bit of the old oil on the seal so that it'll slide on a little bit easier. Now you want to make sure you get the correct weight, the correct rating of oil for your engine. 15W40 is what this engine requires, and you do want to make sure it's rated for diesel engines, because there are emulsifiers that wrap around the soot within the oil, because diesel engines produce a lot of soot, and that can wear down your engine if that's not emulsified. So you want to make sure you got that. All right, so I've got 8 of the 10 quarts that it's recommended for the engine in there right now. I'm going to shut the hood and back it off the ramp so that I can level it out and check the levels of it. And then after that, we're going to be done. All right, so I've let the engine settle for a few minutes. And the last thing we need to do is just check the oil level. And in this vehicle, my dipstick is over here on the left side of the engine. This thing right here. I'm gonna pull it out. Let's see if I can. So I'm just gonna, I only have one hand here. Normally I'd be doing this with 2 hands, but anyway, I just gotta clean the end of it off. And it's probably gonna be low because I'm 2 quarts low right now from what I put in. But let's see here. Yeah, so we're still low. So I'm going to add a couple of quarts to it, and then we'll check it again. Okay, we'll go ahead and check it again. And you can see it's just about to the full mark. And by the time it gets done dripping down there, it should be at the full mark. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and I'll check it again tomorrow and just make sure everything is where it needs to be. Whether you have an ambulance or just a regular vehicle, this is not something that has to be overwhelming. This oil change cost me about $50 total, including oil, filter. Does not include the filter wrench. I did have to buy that extra. But, you know, what would this have cost me if I'd have taken it somewhere else? So, you know, you can save yourself a lot of money by doing this kind of stuff yourself. So that's all there is to it. We've got the oil changed on this thing, and if it hadn't been for having to run to the store to get another oil filter wrench, it would have taken me literally 20 minutes, maybe half an hour tops. But anyway, if you got all the stuff you need, it's a super simple job. Easy to get to the oil filter, easy to get to the drain plug. Just need some ramps, chocks for your wheels. You definitely don't want the thing rolling over on top of you. So, you know, safety first. So next time we'll be having our video about the second half of our trip down to St. Augustine, and we should have that up not too long after this. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Like I said, this isn't normally what our content is. It's normally travel related and traveling around in our ambulance camper, but you know, maintenance is part of that deal. So if you've enjoyed this, just, you know, tell your friends and subscribe and all that. So catch you later.